Today we're going to take a look at the world's smallest mini robot vacuum, the SwitchBot K11 Plus. Look how tiny this is. I'm holding it one-handed. I like this one. I've been using the previous version, the K10 Pro, for the past year. It's been great because it's small and can go places that larger robot vacuums can't. But it still has enough power to take care of the fur from my 100-pound dog. The K11 Plus takes things up a notch with twice the amount of power, and it now has Matter support right out of the box. So that means you could hook it up with the Smart Assistant and not need any hubs, which is great. I can put this into Apple Home, write automations, I can control the individual rooms it goes to, and set suction levels. In this video, we're going to take a look at the key features of this, and we'll see it in action. And at the end, I'll share with you my final thoughts on it and where you could pick one of these up. Now, this video is sponsored by SwitchBot. They did send this over for me to check out. If you're not familiar with them, they have a whole lineup of smart devices, from smart curtain and blind openers, smart locks, hubs, sensors. They got a little bit of everything. And I'll put links down in the description. Definitely go check them out. Two devices that I use daily from them are their curtain openers that open my curtains in the morning and close them at night, and their mini robot vacuum. Now, if you don't have a robot vacuum, I think they're a must-have. I know I would procrastinate vacuuming to the point that it would drive my wife crazy. Now I set it and forget it. I don't think about it at all. At 8:30 in the morning, the robot vacuum starts. It picks up the dog fur so it doesn't gather around the baseboards. I can walk around the house barefoot and I don't step on anything in the hardwood floors. It's just nice to have clean floors and not do the work. Now, if you are new to robot vacuums, what's nice about the mini robot vacuums is being able to get to spots that some of the larger ones can't. Like, this one's able to navigate between chair legs and get underneath the table. It could get underneath furniture, like we have shelves and entertainment systems that it can just creep under and get stuff. You do need to take advantage of the no-go zones, because this thing can get sneaky and just sneak into places you may not want it to go. Luckily, you don't have to sacrifice power going with the mini robot vacuum. And that's a big reason that I've been using these mini robot vacuums, is I got a big dog that does a lot of fur. So if it can keep up with that, I'm covered. Another requirement for a robot vacuum is a self-emptying bin, just to remove the friction, so when it gets done, it empties itself and you never think about it. So let's take a look at what you get with the K11 Plus. You get the robot vacuum itself. You get the mini base station, which is actually smaller than last year's model, but it still has the same 4-liter bag in it, so it can hold 90 days worth of debris. In the box, you also get a spare bag, you get a spare V-shaped side brush, and you get the mopping pads. So you can put a mopping pad on the bottom of this, and it will drag along and mop the floor. It's not like a rotating mopping, it's just a cleaning pad. Now, the K11 Plus hasn't changed in size. It is still under 10 inches wide and under 4 inches tall. The mini base station, though, has gotten quite a bit smaller. They also put a wooden cap on top, so it looks a little nicer, and you can get it for the first time in black. One of the new things with the K11 Plus is the new V-shaped side brush, and the idea is that it can clean edges well, but it doesn't get stuff tangled in it as much. Now, this vacuum weighs just over 5 pounds, which is nice because you can actually pick it up and take it to a different floor in your house, and you can save a total of 5 different maps. So if you want to take it to the basement and vacuum, or up to the 2nd floor, or the 3rd floor, or 4th floor, I don't know, I only have 2 floors, but you can take it to those floors, switch to that map, and it'll run fine. On it, you do have 3 different types of sensors. You have the LiDAR sensor that will map out the rooms. Then you have the front sensor for obstacle avoidance. And then on the side, you have the PSD sensor that will keep it from rubbing up against baseboards and furniture and other stuff. On the bottom, you have cliff sensors, so it won't go tumbling down the stairs. You have the roller. This is the tangle-free roller. What ends up happening is the fur won't get stuck around the edge here. If anything, it kind of gets worked off to the side, so you do have to clean off the edges every once in a while. Let's talk some fancy vacuum specs. When it comes to suction power, It's measured in pascals. And the previous version had a suction power of 3,000 pascals. This can do twice as much as 6,000 pascals. Now, when I went to Google to research how many pascals is good, I see that between 4 to 5,500 pascals is considered high suction, which is necessary for deep cleaning carpets, removing embedded allergens, and picking up significant amounts of pet fur. So we're in the high suction zone, which is good. Now, in order to get that maximum suction out of it, you have to take advantage of the max mode. There's a total of 4 different modes. There's quiet mode, which is like 45 decibels. That is like down at really quiet talking, so it won't wake you up. There's the standard mode, strong mode, and then max mode. Now, overall, in using it, when it comes to obstacle avoidance, this does a good job of using the sensors on it to not rub up against things when it's cleaning close and to go around objects. You do want to remove really small objects from the ground because it'll try to go over top of them. In my test, it's done well about going around things. Certain smaller things, like it'll get the end of my dog blanket every once in a while, but in general, it's been good about avoiding things. If there are areas that you're concerned about, you can set up no-go zones and virtual walls within the map. Now, when you start using it for the first time, you actually set it out on a fast mapping. And during that fast mapping, it'll use LiDAR to map your house. It took about 10 minutes to do my house, and then it'll estimate where the different rooms are. You could then go in there and you can change the rooms or combine rooms together, label them up, and create your no-go zone. So I have one so it doesn't get caught behind my couch. When it comes to actually using the vacuum itself, you could have it just go do the whole house, or you could pick what rooms you want it to do. And the order you select them is the order that it will vacuum them. And what's nice with Matter, those rooms carry over into Apple Home, and I can set up automations just to pick the ones I want. The other option is you could take the map and you could trace out the different rooms. Also within the cleaning modes, you could have it do 1 pass or 2 pass, pick your suction level. One of the things I like about controlling it, especially good for my wife, is she wants to send it out cleaning, you just hit the power button. Sends it off cleaning. You hit it again, it'll pause. You can hit the home button, it goes back to the base station. Now, it does work with Amazon, Apple, Google, Samsung, SmartThings, and IFT. So you're pretty much covered whatever assistant you use. So let's take a look at this thing in action. My wife hates these videos because I let debris, I let dog fur and kitty litter and all different things gather up. Drives her crazy. But I try to get a good mess going so we can see how this works. Now, in my first pass with it, I was running it in strong mode. I would recommend, if you have waited a week to clean, to turn it up to max mode. That way you get that full suction power. Here comes a vacuum on max suction so that we make sure we get it all. Look at that. Good job. Got the fur. Now, some of this that's left behind, it's because the angle of the stairs, it doesn't want to rub up against them, so it can't get all that in there. Here's some more fur along the baseboards. No problem. Got all that. We got some more hair and pieces and stuff right here. Got all that up. Let's see the rest. You could see as it's running along the baseboard, the PSD sensor, it keeps it from rubbing on anything, but still that side brush reaches out far enough to clean along the baseboard. Now here's a look at a bigger mess with max mode turned on, and you can see how it does with that. So here's a little mess I made with some cereal, coffee grounds, rice, some kitty litter in there, and we're gonna run the vacuums on max, and we'll have it go through twice. So here it goes into the mess. See how it does. Not bad for the first pass right there. The only problem you run into is every once in a while you get the brush that kind of flicks some stuff aside, but that's where a second pass will help. That's one pass. It's on its second pass now. We have a little bit of stuff that was left. That's okay. It's gonna go back through. Nice thing is, I didn't do any of the work, so I'm okay if it does 2 passes. So it finished the second pass. We have a couple little things left over, but I do know that was an exaggerated test. And the thing is, I'll run it again. It's easy. I don't have to do any of the work. When this is done vacuuming, it goes back to the base station and it empties itself out. And I'm telling you, you need to have a self-emptying base station, because if you have to empty the little bin on it each time, it adds a friction and keeps you from using it regularly. I know I've had some vacuums that didn't have the self-emptying, and I procrastinated using that even. Now for my use, running it daily takes care of the loose fur around the house. We have our cat litter boxes in a bathroom, and the cats manage to drag out little pieces, and it's nice to have the vacuum clean that up regularly. But I think overall the big benefits of this would be that it's so small and it can really get into some smaller spaces, tighter spaces. The base station is small too, so we actually have this sitting in our living room, and it'll start vacuuming in there where we have the most fur gather. If for some reason we want to stop the vacuuming, maybe we're watching TV or doing something and just don't want it running, it at least gets the living room done. You hit the button and you just send it back home. I'd say another big benefit of the K11 Plus is that addition of Matter and not needing a hub. But Matter 1.4 is nice. It's before with Matter, I can turn it on or off with my previous version. But now with this, to actually pick the suction levels and the rooms you want it to do is a nice improvement. I'd say another benefit of this particular model over the previous is more suction power. You can't go wrong. Clean up more stuff, more debris, more power, but you don't necessarily need to run it with that higher mode all the time. You'll get more battery life out of it by keeping it on standard or strong, or even using quiet mode. Now, some of the downsides with this is it's a smaller device, so it does have a smaller on-device collection bin, so it will need to go and empty itself, or depending on the size of your house, it may get so far into the vacuuming, and especially if you're using max suction, it'll need to go back, charge itself up some, and then it'll go back out and finish the job off. Another downside is it does have a smaller roller, which isn't a deal breaker for me because it's worked out well. And the other thing is, being small, you definitely need to do your no-go zones, because I've had this thing sneak into areas, like squeeze between a table and a recliner, and then it got itself stuck. Yeah, so none of those are deal breakers. I've been using the K10 Plus. I went to the Pro, and now I'm using this one. Those other two, they got rotated to other places in the house. I got one upstairs. I put one in our garage that we converted, and yeah, so they're all in action still. Now, if you'd like to pick one of these up, you can go to SwitchBot's website and buy one directly from them, or you can go to Amazon and pick them up. I'll put links down in the description. Definitely go check them out. I'll put links to some of their other devices in there too for you to check out, and I'll put some videos of some of their other stuff. Now, have you been using a robot vacuum? If you have, has it been a game changer? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, if you made it this far, please consider subscribing. Check out future videos. If you can, give this one a like. It definitely helps the channel out. And next, you could check out one of these videos over here. Thanks for watching. Bye.